Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Career Boost podcast from the Medical Portfolio. I'm truly delighted today to be joined by Professor Vitor Gil, an eminent leader in cardiology whose career has left a substantial mark both in Portugal and also internationally. Based in Lisbon, Professor Vitor Gil has excelled across clinical practice, research, and teaching, with a strong influence on advancing cardiovascular medicine. He is an accomplished speaker and a passionate educator dedicated to shaping the future of cardiology. Professor Vitor Gil, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much. After this introduction, I don't know what to say. Okay, but thank you very much.
So I'll start by stating that your professional path has been extraordinary. Could you share with our listeners a quick overview of the pivotal experiences that have defined your career so far?
Okay, I graduated in medicine in Lisbon, in Faculdade de Medicina. There was a very important experience that was doing the fellowship in cardiology in Hospital de Santa Cruz, because Hospital de Santa Cruz opened these doors in 1980, and I started the internship 3 years later. So, I helped to build a new project, and it was amazing. It was fascinating. And then I was in Hospital Santa Cruz during 22, something like that, years. I started as a fellow, and I ended as a senior consultant. Then I had a challenge that was to direct a public service, in a very big hospital. I was there during around 10 years. And also, I started a new program in a great private hospital. That was the public hospital was Hospital Fernando Fonseca. Then the private hospital was Hospital Lusíadas. And in the last years, I started a new project. I created a center for cardiovascular risk and thrombosis in the group of Lourdes. That is a very big group also. And now I'm coordinating also the cardiovascular research center of Lourdes. We have several projects with several corporations, with public universities, and it's a very interesting project also. I did my PhD in Oporto University, and then I was a professor in Faculdade de Medicina several years in Lisbon. And in the last 3 years, I helped to build a new project that is the project of the Faculdade de Medicina of the Catholic University. So this is in 1 minute, in 2 minutes, my career. And it's still working hardly.
Most of us are shaped by mentors or influential figures along the way. Was there someone who played a significant role in guiding or inspiring your journey, and how did they impact you?
In fact, I'm grateful to not to one person, but to a few persons. I have my first director was a very internationally known surgeon that was Professor Machado Macedo. But my director was Professor Seabra Gomes, but also what other senior colleagues in the department were very important to me. Professor Ana Aleixo, that was the one that introduced me to clinical investigation, Dr. Aniceto Silva, but also colleagues, not senior colleagues of my age and even younger colleagues, that when we work together, we do things together. And in fact, the mentors can be young colleagues that stimulate us, that push us forward to imagine things, to coordinate things. So I think I'm very grateful to have the opportunity, even now, to work with several people that inspired me, that inspire me yesterday, today, and are not one name, but several names.
Every career comes with its share of obstacles. Can you tell us about some of the toughest moments you have faced professionally and how you managed to overcome them?
The experience of starting a new project in Hospital Santa Cruz was a very challenging experience because, the mentors were colleagues that were in other places in the world, in Great Britain, in the United States, and they try to break with some traditions, some immobilism, well, and in fact, when we have a problem, the problem was changed in a challenge, and this culture. Well, I was not the mentor of the challenge, but I was one of the targets of the people that try to solve problems. So this was there was a big number of resistances. Well, for the young people that don't remember anymore, in Hospital Santa Cruz, Professor Seabra Gomes started the first PTCA in Portugal, and also in Santa Cruz, Professor Queiroz e Melo did the first heart transplant. Okay, they are the names behind the procedures, but a lot of people was there, and it was amazing how we could override the difficulties. And well, every day it was a challenge, and over every day we could do so. If we couldn't do something, we ask why cannot we do where are the problems, how can we solve them? And I think that nowadays it's easy to understand the spirit. Well, some years ago, some almost 40 years ago, it was not so easy, but well, it was really a challenge. Also, when I decided to go to Santa Cruz, it changed the plan that I have. Maybe the other plan, the only plan, because I never did the big plans for my life. Things happened, um, but I had the plan to go to the United States, and this plan was not possible to do because the challenge of being in Santa Cruz, trying to do something in Santa Cruz, and I remember that Professor Seabra Gomes told me in the first days, well, maybe you can do it here more than you could do in the States. Help me to do it. And this was really amazing.
Discussions around gender equality and diversity in healthcare are still a topic. From your perspective, do you believe there are still significant gaps that need addressing in the medical profession?
Okay, let me go back a few years or a few decades and let us look at the present. I think that all the society changed. And I think that the things are not the same that were. Well, cardiology at first it was a male specialty. Why? I don't know really why. Maybe because of the burden of the emergency, something like that. But with time, things changed. Of course, being a mother is not the same as being a father. And why? Well, we shared and we share now the education of the children. But I think that at least when I was young, the burden for a mother was higher. I think that the society grew. I think that things are much more equal. I think that the role of women, well, are the same, if not more important than men in medicine and also in cardiology, doors that were almost closed to several specialties like hemodynamics or rhythmology intervention. Well, now are opened. We have several leaders in interventional fields. So I think that things changed, if not totally, at least a lot. And I think that all the community must look to the young people, men and women, and help them to have children, and help them to educate children and facilitate the life. And for instance, in Portugal, we have this important problem that is to have a place to live, to have a home to live. This is difficult, and well, we must grow. And I think that the difference in gender and other differences, not only in gender, for instance, now we have this problem of people that comes from other countries that come to live and to study and to work in Portugal, and this is the challenge also at putting everyone together. But I think that we are well, I am optimistic about that.
What are your strategies for keeping your clinical skills and scientific knowledge up to date?
Well, first, well, try to understand what is the problem of the patient and try to understand the patient first. Second, try to be updated. Try to read and read more and to listen from the ones that know more than we know. Try to integrate everything. But I think that all of this should be made with well, why not use the what, with some love for the profession, love for the patients, and I think that this can inspire us. So read a lot, to be very much updated, and try to integrate everything. And I think this is the big challenge. And try not to know about cardiology. Try to know about medicine. Try to know about science, and try to know about life. And I think that this amazing thing that is this possibility that we have to help someone with technical means is really a big opportunity that life gives to us. And I'm thankful to that.
Following your last words, maintaining equilibrium between a demanding professional life and personal well-being isn't always easy. How do you approach balancing your work with your life outside medicine?
Well, it's really not easy. And in the past, it was more difficult yet, because now I can sometimes take some time to my family, to myself. And in the past, it was not so easy. But I think that are things that are essential. For instance, an anniversary of a son of a daughter, it's more important than anything we can do in our career, and our presence is important. It's interesting. I have a son and a daughter. My daughter is a doctor also, and I was lots of times not present, but they don't feel me like an absent father. Is a miracle? No, it's not a miracle. It's a question of options, and the question to be there when you must be there. And the other thing is, always try to bring some joy to what we do. And when you are with your family, try not to bring the problems that you have at your work. Uh, Always be with a smile, always be with joy. So if we do things with joy, I think that things go together, and we can have a very good compromise between work and family, and a little bit sports. I'm not a sportsman, but other things I like to bike. I like to boat. I like several things like that.
Leadership comes in many forms. In your opinion, what quality truly distinguishes an exceptional leader in medicine?
Well, I'm looking at those that I recognize like an exceptional leader. I think that the first thing is a deep belief in something, in a project. But I would like to emphasize that maybe it's not just one characteristic, because you can believe and you cannot be recognized by that. So the other aspect is a great respect for those who work with you. Which it's a common sense word. We don't work together. We don't live together. We don't walk together. So first you must believe, then you also must believe in the other people that are with you, and then you must, of course, be respected, respect and be respected, and the other is recognized by others, not by ourselves.
For young cardiologists looking to progress swiftly in their careers, what practical advice or approaches would you recommend they focus on?
Okay, I think that we must try always to be the best, not better than the other that is at our side, but the best. And the other must also try to be the best. And if 3 or 4 or 10 of us are the best, well, so I think we are in a, well, we are in an higher level. And for every case, for every patient, for every situation, try to think what can I add to solve this problem. Uh, Sometimes patients come to a second or a third opinion. Well, and of course, you must respect what were the other opinions. But okay, there is always a challenge. Can I add something? Sometimes the difference is to change a small thing, but to change a small thing can be a major change in the life of a patient or their family. So try to be the best, always try to be the best, work a lot, work hard, always work hard, but work hard with happiness, with joy.
Cardiology is advancing at an incredible pace. In your view, which developments or challenges are likely to redefine the field in the coming years?
Well, I think it's very difficult to know what are the ways of the future, because well, we are going very far in the field of understanding the for instance, atherosclerosis, heart failure. But I think that the clinical cardiology is facing some challenge, and I don't know what the future will bring, because internal medicine progressively took over some fields that were fields that belong to cardiology and other specialties. And nowadays, in several places, the cardiologist is just someone that do techniques, and I think this is dangerous. This is dangerous. Also, I don't know what will be the future, for instance, for intravascular interventions in cardiology. Will the possibility of a future interventional specialty, intravascular intervention, well, was something that was from time to time referred and discussed. So I think that also the investigation in cardiology and the translational investigation needs to build bridges with several specialities, with basic specialities to other areas of knowledge. So I think that from one way, it's very challenging, and it's amazing. The fields, for instance, well, I'm helping to develop some programs in cooperation, for instance, with Faculdade de Ciências, where they do things like metabolomics, proteinomics, etc. They can and we can build very interesting bridges, and we are doing it. So I think three major fields in cardiology: intervention, vascular intervention, arrhythmias intervention, and also imaging. Those are the most important fields. But clinical cardiology, clinical investigation, and translational investigation, bringing problems that we have in clinics to bench, but also bringing to bedside the questions that happens after the basic investigation. So I think those are this is the present and will mark the future. But how will be the future? I think that it's very difficult to know.
Now, the last question. Is there a book, medical or otherwise, that had a significant influence on your perspective and that you would like to suggest to our audience?
Well, I'm a compulsive reader, so this is the most difficult question of all. It's very difficult, because I could say something like, well, common cases like the Godspell after St. John. But no, if you want a book, maybe the Magic Mountain, Thomas Mann. This is, of course, one of maybe the 20 books that I would choose. And also, there are books. For instance, there is an author, I don't know if that people that don't read Portuguese can assess, but there is a Portuguese author that has amazing things. That is a cardinal, José Tolentino de Mendonça. There are amazing books. One, for instance, is called, maybe translate for English. I think that there is not a translation. In English, there is a Spanish translation. It's called The Little Book of the Big Answers. Sorry, the Little Book of the Big Questions. If there is any time a translation for English, people of English language, please read. And for Spanish, there is. So it's very difficult, but I give those suggestions.
That brings us to the end of the episode of this Career Boost. Professor Vitor Gil, thank you so much for generously sharing your experiences, insights, and thoughtful advice with us. Stay tuned for more episodes featuring career guidance, expert insights, and inspiring stories to help you thrive in the world of medicine. Thanks for listening and see you next time.
Thank you very much.